Hey guys, Texan Terrors here. We're back with something new. So last time we did a podcast, uh, and now we're gonna do kind of like a story time, kind of scary telling thing. Now, we are reading the story along with you, so it's kind of gonna be like a community thing, an interactive thing, but we'll try to keep it as immersive as possible. We have gameplay in the background. We decided not to do something crazy and just have like a chill background for the viewers to watch. So, if you like
Uh,
this,
so
let us know, and I'm gonna let
okay.
Alex talk for a little bit.
so I have uh heard and read this story before. Aiden, you you were telling me you have no idea what this story is about?
Yeah, I have never heard of this.
Okay. So if you have heard this story before or have read the story before, you know what we have in store. If you don't know, you're gonna be on a fucking roller coaster of emotions. um, but yeah, let's just get right into it.
So the story we're reading today is called Borrasca. It was published April 12th, 2016 by C.K. Walker 66.
Yeah, it was originally posted on r slash no sleep.
Okay.
So and then she CK Walker, she eventually turned it into an actual book. So you can go to Amazon and actually buy the book. Yeah.
It's a long story, but one you've never heard before. This story is about a place that dwells on the mountain, a place where bad things happen. And you may think you know about the bad things. You may decide you have it all figured out, but you don't, because the truth is worse than monsters or men. At first, I was upset when they told me we were moving to some little town out in the Ozarks. I remember staring at my dinner plate while listening to my sister throw a temper tantrum unbefitting of a 14-year-old honor student. She cried, she pleaded, and then when she cursed out my parents. She threw a bowl at my dad and told him it was all his fault. Mom told Whitney to calm down, but she stormed off, slamming every door in the house on the way to her room. I secretly blamed my dad as well. I heard the whispers too. My dad had done something wrong. Something bad, and the sheriff's department had reassigned him to some little out-of-the-way county to save face. My parents didn't want me to know, but I did. I was 9, so it didn't take me too long to warm the idea of change. It was like an adventure. New house, new school, new friends. Whitney, of course, felt the opposite. Moving to a new school at her age is hard. Moving away from her new boyfriend, however, was even harder. While the rest of us packed up our things and said our goodbyes, Whitney sulked and cried and threatened to run away from home. But a month later, when we pulled up to our new house in Drisking, Missouri, she was sitting right next to me, texting viciously on her phone. Thankfully, we moved over this summer, and I had months of free time to explore the town. When Dad started his new job at the sheriff's office, Mom drove us around the city commenting on this and that. The city was much smaller than St. Louis, but also nicer. There was no bad areas, and the entire town looked like something you would see on a postcard. Jerusalem was built in a mountain valley surrounded by healthy forest land with walking trails and crystal lakes. I was 9, and it was summer and this was heaven. We'd only been living in Jerusalem a week or so when our next door neighbors came to introduce themselves. Mr. and Mrs. Landy, and their 10-year-old son Kyle. While our parents talked and drank mimosas, I watched Landy's lanky, red-headed son hung up in the doorway, shyly eyeing the PS2 in the living room. Okay, do you want to do a back and forth here?
No, you can take the main character. I'll do
Do you play? I asked. He shrugged.
not really.
Do you wanna? I just got Tekken 4.
Um
Kyle glanced at his mom, who had just been handed her third mimosa. Kyle glanced at his mom, who had just handed her third mimosa.
yeah, sure.
And that afternoon, with the ease and simplicity of our age, Kyle and I became friends. Best friends. We spent the cool summer mornings outside exploring the Ozarks and the hot afternoons in my living room playing the PS2. He introduced me to the only other kid in the neighborhood at our age, a skinny, quiet girl named Kimber Gistaro. She was shy, but friendly, and always up for anything. Kimber kept up with us so well that she quickly became our third wheel on our tricycle. With my dad at work all the time, my mom consumed with her new friendships, and my sister locked in a room all day, summer was ours to take, and we did. Kyle and Kimber showed me where all the hiking shows were, which lakes were the best and most accessible by bike, and where the best stores were in town. By the time the first day of school rolled around in September, I knew I was home. On the last Saturday before school, Kyle and Kimber told me they were going to take somewhere special, somewhere we hadn't been yet, the Triple Tree. Okay. Um, I'll I'll try to read Kimber's lines.
I could do Kimber's lines. I
You
can
can
do
do.
Colin Kimber.
Okay, cool. Thank God. What's a triple tree? I asked.
It's a totally awesome, totally huge tree house out in the woods.
Kyle said excitedly. Huh? Why? What happened? No, why? What do you mean? Yeah. Wait, what did you hear? Really? No, I'm being serious. Because I heard something over here. No. He wasn't out here. I heard, you're lucky it wasn't me. Damn. No, no,
Really hearing voices?
I didn't do it. No, I heard, was that, so did you bang on the desk? Oh, okay. I was like, damn, is somebody knocked on our door? I was reading a story because we're doing a podcast thing. To have him? I'm doing a thing. Bro. Oh my god. No, she said she felt somebody tap her shoulder and she said, what? Because she's playing Marvel Rivals right now and she's pissed. And she was like, what the fuck do you want? And she turned around and nobody was there.
Oh.
That's pretty sick. Okay.
That's funny.
3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, am I doing, okay, yeah. 3, 2, 1. Whatever, Kyle. Come on, you guys. If there was a frickin' treehouse, you would have showed it to me already.
No, we wouldn't have.
Kyle shook his head.
There's a ceremony for first timers and everything.
Kimber nodded eagerly in agreement, her dark orange curls bouncing off her tiny shoulders.
Yep, it's true, Sam. If you enter the treehouse without the proper ceremony, you'll disappear and then you'll die.
That's good. We'll keep that in. We'll keep that in. Oh shit, I went too far up. Okay. Wait.
It's her voice now.
Yep. My face fell. Now I knew they were making fun of me. That's a lie. You guys are lying to me,
No, we're not.
Kimber insisted.
Yeah, we'll show you. We just have to get a knife for the ceremony and we'll go.
Okay. What? Why do you need a knife? Is it a blood ceremony? I whispered.
No way.
Kimber promised.
You just say some words and carve your name into the triple tree. Yep. It takes like 1 minute.
Kyle agreed. And it's like a really cool treehouse? I asked.
Oh yeah.
Kyle promised. Okay, I guess I'll do it then. Kyle insisted on using the same knife he used during his own ceremony, but we paid a price to get to it. Mrs. Landy just happened to be home with her youngest son Parker, and despite Kyle's many objections, his mother insisted that he take his 6-year-old brother with him.
Mom, we're going to the treehouse. It's only for older kids. Parker can't go. I don't I don't care if you're going to see an Exorcist movie marathon. You're taking your brother with you. I need a break, Kyle. Can't you understand that? And I'm sure your friends won't mind.
She flashed Kimber and me with a challenging look.
Right? No, not at all.
Kimber said, and I nodded in agreement. Kyle made a loud, dramatic sigh and called his brother.
Parker, put your shoes on. We're leaving now.
I'd met the youngest Landy several times before and found out that he is unlike his older brother in looks as in disposition. While Kyle was wild, excitable, a fireball with hair to match, I found that Parker used to be anxious, fidgety boy with small eyes and dark brown hair. We got on our bikes and made our way to a lesser known hiking trail a few miles away. I'd asked before where the trail led when we had ridden across it several weeks before, and Kyle had given me the underwhelming answer of,
Nowhere interesting.
we pulled up to the trailhead and leaned our bikes against the wooden post, which read, West Rim Prescott or Trail. Why are there so many trails around here named Prescott? I asked. Is this Prescott Mountain or something? Kimber laughed.
No, dummy. It's because of the Prescotts. You know, the family that lives in the mansion up on Fairmont. Mr. Prescott and his son Jimmy own like half the businesses in town. More than half.
Kyle agreed. Well, which ones? Is he on the GameStop? The only store interesting I really cared about.
I don't know about that one.
Kyle wound a lock around the four bikes and clicked a bar into place, then spun the numbers on the dial.
But like the hardware store, the pharmacy, Glitton's on Second, and the newspaper.
Did they start the town? I asked.
Nah, mining started the town. I think they.
I want to go home. Parker had been so quiet I completely forgot he was there. Was that good?
That was fucking perfect. Oh god, okay. uh, you can't go home.
Kyle rolled his eyes.
Mom said I had to. Mom said I had to bring you. Now come on. It's only like a 2 mile walk.
But I want to take my bike, Parker answered.
Too bad. We're going off trail.
I don't want to go. I'll stay with the bikes.
Don't be such a wussy.
I'm not,
Kyle, be nice.
Kimber hissed.
He's only 5.
I'm 6, Parker objected.
I'm sorry. 6. You're 6.
Kimber smiled at him.
Alright, fine. I can hold your hand if you want. But he's coming.
Kyle turned and started up the trail. Parker's face fell into an undignified frown, but when the charming Kimber stuck out her hand and wiggled her fingers at him, he took it. Kyle was right. It wasn't a long walk, only a half-mile down the trail, and there was another half-mile hike on the tread path up the mountain. It was a steep climb, though, and by the time we got to the treehouse, I was winded.
What do you think?
Kyle asked excitedly. I studied the tree as I caught my breath. It's pretty awesome. I smiled, and it was. They hadn't lied. The treehouse was the biggest I've ever seen. It had multiple rooms and there were actual curtains in the windows. A sign above the door said, Embercott Fort, and a rope ladder hung below the threshold, missing several planks. I'm going up first, yelled Parker, but Kimber caught his arm.
You have to do the ceremony first or you'll disappear.
She reminded him.
That'll be fine with me.
Kyle grumbled. I was eager to get into the fort myself. Give me the knife. I held out my hand and Kyle smiled and dug the switchblade out of his pocket.
There's some spaces in the back to carve your name.
I opened up the knife and walked around the tree looking for an empty spot. There were so many names on the tree that I had to crunch down and look near the bottom since I couldn't reach any higher. I spotted Kyle and Kimber's carvings on the tree and I finally got to a spot I liked near the ladder. I bit my tongue and carved Sam W. into a blank piece of bark underneath someone named Paul S. Parker. Went to the next, but had so much trouble with the knife that Kyle had to do it for him. Alright, let's go. I ran over to the rope ladder.
Wait!
Kyle yelled.
You have to say the words first.
Oh yeah? Okay, what are they? Kimber sang them out.
Underneath the triple tree, there is a man who waits for me. And should I go or should I stay, my fate's the same either way.
That's creepy, I said. What does it mean? Kimber shrugged.
No one knows anymore. It's just tradition.
Okay, okay. Can you say it one more time? Slower? Once Parker and I had recited the poem, we were ready to go. I climbed the rope ladder first and took stock of my new surroundings. The treehouse was more or less empty. Just a dirty rug here, and there was some trash, old soda cans, beer cans, and fast food wrappers. I went to room, 4 in total, and found nothing of real interest until the last one. An old mattress lay in the corner of piles of musty, ripped clothing scattered the floor. Did a hobo live here? I asked.
Nah, this room has been like this for as long as I can remember.
Kyle said from the door behind me. It smells gross, I said. Kimber walked up to the threshold but refused to go any further.
It's not the smell that freaks me out. It's that.
She pointed at the ceiling and raised my eyes to read what was written there. A road to the gates of hell, mile marker 1. What does it mean? I asked.
It's just older kids being dicks.
Kyle said.
Come on, I'll show you the best part of the treehouse.
We walked back into the first room and Parker looked up at us and smiled, pointing down to what he clumsily carved on the wooden floor.
Bart.
Kyle read.
That's hilarious, Parker.
He rolled his eyes, but his little brother didn't pick up on the sarcasm and smiled proudly. Kimber sat down on the floor next to Parker and I sat on his other side. Kyle took the knife from his brother and walked across the room and wedged the blade between 2 planks of the wooden wall. He pushed on and the board gave, opening up a small secret compartment in the wall. Kyle took something out and pushed the plank back until it was flush with the others.
Check it out.
He turned around and proudly held up 2 cans of Miller Lite beer. Whoa, I said.
Ew. Warm beer? That's gross. How did you even know it was there?
Kimber asked.
Phil Sanders told me.
Are we gonna drink it? I asked.
Hell yeah, we're gonna drink it.
Kyle came and sat down in our circle, popped the first beer and offered it to Kimber. She eyed it like she was trying to hand her a dirty diaper.
Come on, Kimmy. Don't call me that.
She yelled at him and then reluctantly took the open beer. She smiled at it, made a face, then pinched her nose and took a small swig. Kimber shuddered.
That's even grosser than I imagined.
I don't want any. I'll tell Mom, Parker said as quickly the beer is passed right in front of him to me.
Good, 'cause you ain't getting any.
Kyle promised.
And you won't tell Mom shit.
Put on my best poker face and took a long, deep swallow of the warm beer before I had a chance to smell it. It was a poor decision and I retched. The foul yellow liquid went all over my shirt. Oh man, now I'm gonna smell like beer. We spent the next hour and a half drinking 2 cans of Miller Lite. After a while, the taste grew more tolerable. I couldn't tell if I was becoming a man or actually getting drunk. I hoped it was the former. When the last drop of beer was consumed, we spent 20 minutes trying to determine if we were drunk. Kyle assured us that he was wasted, while Kimber wasn't sure. I didn't think I was, but I failed all of our drunk tests. Kimber was in the middle of reciting the alphabet backwards when a loud, metallic grinding suddenly pierced the calm mountain air like a gunshot. Kimber stopped talking, and we spent a few minutes staring at each other. Waiting for the noise to end, Parker crowed into Kimber and put his hands over his ears. After what it seemed like 10 whole minutes of the sound, it suddenly just ended. Just like it had begun. What was that? I asked, and Parker mumbled something into Kimber's sweatshirt. Do you guys know? I tried again. Kimber stared at her feet as she crossed and uncrossed them. Well?
It's nothing.
Kyle answered finally.
We hear it sometimes in town. It's not a big deal. It's just louder up here.
But what's making that sound?
Borrasca.
Kimber whispered without taking her eyes off her feet. Who's that? I asked.
Not who. Where.
Kyle answered.
It's a place.
A Another town?
No, it's just a place in the woods.
Oh.
Bad things happen there.
Kimber said more to herself than me. Like what?
Bad things.
Kimber repeated.
Yeah, don't ever try to find it, dude.
Kyle said behind me.
Or bad things will happen to you too.
But, like, what bad things? I turned around. Kyle shrugged and Kimber stood up and walked over to the rope ladder.
You better go. I have to get home to my mom.
Kimber said. Climbed down the ladder one by one, then we started to walk back to the trailhead in an unfamiliar silence. I was dying of curiosity about Borrasca, but couldn't decide if and what to ask about it. So, who lives there?
Where?
Kyle asked. Borrasca? The skinned men, Parker answered. Kyle laughed.
Only babies believe that.
Like, men who are skinned? Like, their skin is gone? I asked excitedly.
Yeah, that's what some kids say. Most of us stop believing that, though, when we turn double digits.
Kyle said. I looked back at Kimber, who was still 9 like me, but she was staring down the trail, ignoring us. It seemed to be the end of the conversation, and by the time we reached our bikes, the awkwardness was gone. We were giggling, trying to decide if we were drunk to bike home. School started 2 days later, and I'd completely forgotten about Borrasca. When my dad pulled up to the curb, dropped me off that morning, he locked the doors before I could get out.
Not so fast.
He laughed.
As your father, I get the privilege to give you a hug and telling you to have a good first day of school.
But Dad, I gotta go meet Kyle by the flag before the first bell.
And you will, but give me a hug first. In a few years, you'll be driving yourself to school. Let me be your dad while I still can.
Fine, I said, exasperated, and I leaned over to give my dad a quick hug.
Thank you. Now, go meet your friend. Your mom will be waiting here to pick you up at 3:40.
I know, Dad. Why can't I take the bus like Whitney?
When you're 12, you can take the bus.
He smiled and unlocked the doors.
Until then, I get to drop you off in the mornings. If you think it'd make you look cooler, you can ride in the back seat behind the cage.
Let's get excellent. Dad, just don't. Threw open the door of his cruiser before he could say anything more, and ran as he laughed at me from behind. Kyle was already waiting for me at the flagpole, and he found Kimber too.
Dude, you almost missed the bell.
He yelled at me when he saw. I know, I'm sorry,
Whose class are you in?
Kimber asked. She was wearing a red sweater with leggings with frogs on them. Curly orange hair was resting in ringlets, and her lips were pink and shiny. She never looked prettier, and I was surprised to realize I've never really seen Kimber as a girl. Mr. Diamonds,
Me too.
she said cheerfully.
Lucky.
Kyle scoffed.
I'm in Mrs. Verdi's. Only two fourth grade teachers, and I get the crappy one.
Kimber grimaced.
Yeah, my mom had her when she was a kid.
What's wrong with her? What did she say?
Just that she's strict and gives out homework on the weekends. On the weekends? Fuck.
Excuse me, Mr. Landy. I immediately recognized a tall man that suddenly appeared behind the white-faced Kyle.
Sorry, sir. I mean, dang.
Kimber giggled. I'm sure you did. Hi, Sheriff Clary. Even though I'd only met him a few times, I like my dad's boss and he liked me.
Well, hello, Sammy. Are you excited for your first day?
Sheriff Clary crossed his arms in front of me and widened his stance imposingly. But he gave me a wide smile. Yes, sir, I said. And then added lamely, what are you doing here?
I'm giving a presentation to 5th and 6th graders about safety when walking from school.
I need to compose myself.
Is it a good voice?
I'm literally, all I'm picturing is All Might in his fucking brown suit. Oh god. Okay, fuck. That's staying in. Okay. Okay. Yeah, he gives it every year.
Kyle muttered. Cool, I smiled. Sheriff Clay nodded at me and then turned around and walked away. I looked around and confused. Where's Kimber?
Fuck off, she's annoyingly on time to everything.
And as if to illustrate his point, the bell rang. We both went up the stairs and inside. I walked into class and saw that Kimber had saved a spot next to me at the back. Mr. Diamond, a short, round man of 40 or so, nodded at me
Next
when
to
I
her.
came in.
Mr. Walker, I presume?
Yeah, that's me. I mumbled as I rushed past him to the next desk to Kimber.
Welcome to Drisking Elementary. And for the rest of you, welcome back. Go Grizzlies!
The class echoed in a reluctant and subdued, Go Grizzlies!
Go Grizzlies.
Kimber introduced me to other kids in class throughout the morning. Most of them were nice and sort of underwhelmed by me. They said their hellos and asked where I was from, and the conversations usually ended with an unimpressed, okay. A group of girls sat near the
Okay.
front, snuck snuck looks at us all morning and snickered. I asked Kimber who they were, and she just shrugged. During our next break, they came up to me and talked to me.
Are you friends with Kimber DeStaro?
A tall, dark-haired girl asked me. Yeah, I answered and looked over to Kimber. She was watching me with worried eyes.
Are you related to her?
No,
I didn't think so because you don't have orange hair.
I didn't know what to say to that. You don't have to be friends with her, you know, said the second girl with oddly round face. I want to be friends with her. A third girl behind the other two snorted. She had pretty, blonde hair with a rude, upturned nose.
Well, if you do, you're going to be in the ugly kid group.
The first girl warned.
And once you're in that group, you don't leave it ever.
Well, it's better than the bitch group, I said. Rude nose and round face gasped, but dark hair smiled.
Oh shit. Fucking roasted. We'll see.
She said, and the other three returned to the corner of the room. I sat back down next to Kimber, feeling like a badass. It was the first time I ever used a swear word in front of anybody other than Kyle.
What did they say to you?
Kimber asked nervously. They said you're too pretty to be near them and that you make them look gross, so we have to stay away from them.
Liar.
Kimber answered, but I could tell she was smiling. We met with Kyle in the cafeteria at lunch, and he had nothing but bad things to say about his morning. Mrs. Verdi was old and mean. She made everyone come up and say something about themselves, even though the class only had 14 kids. They all knew each other. When the bell rang for recess, I went to throw my lunch away with Kyle and bumped into a kid I've never met before.
Hey, are you Sam Walker?
The kid asked. Yeah.
Oh, your sister's dating my brother. Oh man, your sister's dating a Whittaker? Shut up, Kyle.
The kid grumbled.
She's gonna be Whitney Whittaker?
As funny as it was, I couldn't help but be a little surprised. Not that I've been paying attention, but I'd only see Whitney out of her room once over the summer. So where did she meet him? I asked the Whittaker kid.
I don't know. Probably his job.
His job where?
He works at Driscoll's Water.
Didn't make any sense to me, but I shrugged it off. I do remember my mom giving Whitney some mental tasks like getting the car wash up and setting up some utilities out to get her out the house. Maybe she met him once they started dating over text. Teenagers are weird. The rest of the school week followed much like the first. We were all into the first month, and I heard someone mention the skinned men again. We were out on the playground, and Kyle and I were trying to start a fire with two large wood chips. I'd given myself a splinter when the distant sound of metal grinding on metal flooded over the playground, silencing every one of us. Borrasca, I said in awe.
Yep. The skinned men kill again.
Hey Kyle, said only babies believe in skinned men. I threw an accusatory look at Kyle.
They do. Phil is just stupid. I'm not. As Danielle, she's seen them.
Phil scanned the playground and yelled for a blonde girl talking to Rude Nose.
Hey, Danielle. Come here.
The blonde girl rolled her eyes and came skipping over anyway. What do you want? I told Kayla doesn't like you, Philip.
No, tell them about the skinned men.
Phil gestured to the air around us, which was filled with a metallic scraping coming down from the mountain. You tell them.
No, you saw them, so you tell them.
I didn't see them. Paige saw them.
Oh,
Phil said, and an uncomfortable silence descended. You guys are weird. Danielle said before flipping her hair in our faces and leaving. Who's Paige? I asked when she'd gone.
her sister.
Phil said.
Paige disappeared when we were like 5.
Kyle said.
After she saw the skinned men.
Phil added. Sounds from the mountain abruptly ended in subdued atmosphere. The playground disappeared with it. The bell rang. Kyle lined up to his class line, and since Phil was in my class, I made sure I was behind him. Teachers began to count us off. Hey, what else do you know about Borrasca? I whispered to him.
My brother said that's where people go when they disappear. To Borrasca.
And what happens to them there?
Bad things.
He said, then shushed me when I asked him what it meant. The year dragged on, and it wasn't until Christmas break that I heard the machine at Borrasca again. It was December, and there was a thick blanket of snow on the ground, which only served to amplify the noise from the mountain. Sat in my room, listening to it for a few minutes, trying to decide what was happening in the place, and that bad things had happened. Saw my dad's cruiser pull up out the window, and went downstairs to get him. As I passed my sister's door, I heard her giggling in that annoying teenage girl way, and I cringed. I hoped Kimber never got like that. Dad! I sit on the landing as he opened the door. My dad stomped on the snow off his boots and threw open his arms.
Come here. How many years has it been?
He joked. It was sure that I hadn't seen much of my dad lately since he was working so much, doing what I didn't know since it was the quietest and lamest town ever. Moms thought the sheriff was grooming his dad for his job ever since Claire was so old. Dad never really agreed or disagreed with her. She'd only been in the department 7 months after all, and he doubted people in the county would vote for him. Hey Dad, you hear that? The machine sounding noise?
Yep. What the fuck?
Why'd you turn to a
Yep.
hick?
It's the area it's getting to him. Yep, I heard it. I hear it in town every now and then.
Do you know what it is?
I asked the sheriff about it, and he told me the noise comes from private property up in the Ozarks.
Is it the property called Borrasca? I said quickly.
I have no idea. Borrasca? Where'd you hear that?
I shrugged. Kids in my school.
Well, it's nothing to worry about, Sammy. Probably just some logging equipment.
But is a place called Borrasca? Like, have you ever heard that name before?
No, I have never. No, I have not heard that before.
Dad pulled his boots off and shrugged off his coat. Looking toward the kitchen, I could tell I was losing him. Well, have you ever heard of the skinned men? I asked quickly.
Skinned men? Good God, Sammy. Is your sister telling you these stories?
No. He wasn't listening to me anymore.
Whitney!
He yelled up the stairs. Nope, Dad. Whitney doesn't even talk to me, I repeated. I heard a door creak up open stairs, and Whitney peered over the railing, phone in hand, and an annoyed look on her face.
You can do Whitney. Oh, wait, no. Are you trying to scare your brother?
Dad, no, I said again. Whitney shot me a betrayed look. Ugh, seriously? As if I'd waste my time.
You are telling him stories about skinned men?
No, Dad, I told you I heard it at school. Okay? I said. Whitney gestured to me as if to say, see?
Alright, well, you kids need to start getting along. Your family, for Christ's sakes.
Whitney rolled her eyes, and Dad walked into the kitchen and she stuck her tongue out at me. Real mature, Whitney! I yelled at her, but she was already gone. I'll tell Dad about your boyfriend! Christmas came and went surprisingly smooth. Christmas came and went surprisingly with smoothness at our house. Whitney and I got everything we'd had on our list, which is the first for us. The town may be smaller, but Dad's paychecks were clearly better. I wore my new Rams Parker on the first day back to school after Christmas break. Kyle fawned over it. Kimber showed off the blue pearl necklace her mom had gotten her for Christmas. Kyle and I feigned interest, but it did poorly. Kimber knew, but she seemed happy that we cared enough to fake it. As if we said goodbye to Kyle in the morning, Kimber suddenly slammed from the side. Kyle caught her before she fell, and I spun around angrily to see a dark-haired girl, whose name I learned was Phoebe Dranger, laughing and walking away from us with Round Girl.
You're bad people who make poor life choices.
Kyle yelled at them.
Well, when I'm your boss someday, I'll make you clean bathrooms.
Yeah, and if Kyle's your boss, you know you messed up, I added. Kyle and I high-fived and turned to Kimber, but she wasn't sharing in our victory. She was trying to hide the tears on her face.
Don't sweat those girls, Kimber. Nobody likes them. People are just nice to them because they're related to the Prescotts.
Kyle tried to give her an awkward pat on the back. Kimber turned away from him and ran in the opposite direction. I hate those girls. Like, I really hate them, I said.
I know, they're bitches.
Kyle answered, mouthing the last word, and he looked over his shoulder for any lurking adults. Well,
Yeah.
I'd better get to class and make sure they don't try to talk to her again.
There's an assembly this morning. No class until after lunch.
Seriously? That's awesome. Do we have to sit by class?
Not usually, but we better get there quickly so we can get seats at the back.
Kyle said as we started walking. What's the assembly for? I asked.
It's either preservation.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't fucking know.
We'll just keep that in. It's whatever. I gotta get back in character. What's dare?
You know, dare as in don't you dare do drugs or you're grounded until you're dead.
Oh, that's a history thing then. We found Kimber already in the auditorium. She had collected herself and saved us both seats at the back of the room. She waved at us as just a puffy, stern Mrs. Verdi walked onto the stage. I got it.
Oh, fourth grade students.
Dude, that was the
This morning-
exact voice I was going to use. Oh my god. Alright, you go.
Hello, fourth grade students. This morning we are having a special presentation for you from the Historic Preservation Society of Drisking. If you have questions during the course of the lecture, please raise your hand.
Like that'll happen.
Kyle laughed.
Now, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Wyatt Down syndrome. Mrs. Catherine. So, she doesn't matter. S. And of course, Mr. James Prescott.
What? Jimmy Prescott and not his dad? That's so weird.
Kimber whispered.
Dude, Thomas Prescott has done this presentation every year for like 20 years.
Kyle said.
It's definitely weird.
It's not weird.
Whispered Mike Sutton from behind us. He leaned forward.
Tom Prescott looked crazy like a year ago. He didn't do the presentation last year when my sister was here either.
I don't like Jimmy Prescott.
Kimber shook her head.
He gives me the heebie-jeebies. His dad is so much nicer. He's like a grandpa.
Presentation was slow and boring. Mr. Dowding and Miss Scanlon talked about the first settlers here, Cherokee, and the Trail of Tears. They talk about Alexander Driskin's discovery of the mother lode of ore in the mountains and settling here with his family to mine and refine the town. Then James Prescott took the stage from here to tell the story of his family's eager and early journey to the town and their role in revitalization of Drisking itself in the late 50s. The last part was most interesting of it all. I found Jimmy Prescott to be infallibly charismatic and entertaining. I was so busy laughing at his jokes and hanging on every word that he... Fuck. I was so busy laughing at his jokes, hanging on to his every word. By the end of this presentation, I'd realized I learned quite a bit. So much that I was interested enough to ask a question. When Kyle warned us he was committing a social suicide, Mr. Prescott scanned the room and answered a few other questions before they finally got to me in the back.
Yeah,
Yes!
you
You
can.
in the back! Mr. Prescott, why did the mines close? Like, what happened? I asked. Very good question, young man. What did you say your name was? Sam Walker. Ha! I believe I met your father the other day at the sheriff's office. Welcome to Drisking, young man. And for your questions, most of the mines were closed in 1951 after a long period of unprofitability. The mountain had simply ran out of iron ore. The mills, refineries were abandoned at the town and suffered for years. The miners and families moved away. Stores went out of business. Schools closed and Dristing became a ghost town. That would have been the end of it if it weren't for stubborn families like mine who refused to leave. We refused to give up the town after many, many hard years of work. Dristing became the picturesque of little haven in the Ozarks that it is today. I hope that answers your question, young man. I sat back down and Kyle shook his head.
Bro.
The assembly suffered through another 15 minutes of Q&A until Mr. Verity finally cut us loose. We were released into the cafeteria to wait for the lunch lines to open. Kyle, Kimber, and I sat in the usual corner.
That was so boring.
Kyle whined.
When when are they going to figure out that no one cares about Driskin's history? Seriously, I fell asleep like 3 times.
Kimber nudged me.
Sam, you seem to care.
She teased. I just wanted to know about the nines. You know, it's creepy. That's all.
Yeah, but all our mines were blown up. You can't go in them anymore.
Kyle said. Blown up? I asked. Kimber nodded.
Some kids died after going into the mines, so the city set off some controlled blast to implode the caverns. At least that's what my mom said. They messed up though, and I heard they blew up the water table or poisoned it or something. How do you know that?
Kyle asked. Kimber shrugged.
I heard my dad talking about it.
Did they use C4 or something?
I guess. So like we all drink the water, so we all have C4 in our bodies, and we can explode at any minute?
Kyle said excitedly. Do you think that's what happened to the missing people? I asked him. Just sitting there, one day they go BOOM!
Yeah, dude.
Kyle grabbed my shoulders.
And that's where the skin men come from.
I made the international symbol of mind blow. We all laughed hysterically.
You guys are dumb.
Kimber rolled her eyes, but she laughed when Kyle fell on the floor pretending to be he was exploding. I remember thinking in that moment that I was happy here in Drisking, Missouri with these two people. Happier than I'd ever been anywhere else. It was truly the last happy moment I ever had. Less than an hour later, Mr. Diamond's phone rang and he exchanged a few quiet words with the person on the other end, his eyes flicking to mine in the front desk. It was hard to be surprised. Then, when he hung up, he asked me to come up to the front. When I got there, he told me my mom was waiting for me at the office. I was going home for the day. I traded a confused and worried look to Kimber, and packed up my backpack and went to the office. When I got there, my mom was crying. We drove home in strained silence, and I was too afraid to ask what's going on. Mom parked the car from a block from our house, which was blocked by several police and cars. When the explanation came, I didn't break the silence myself. Is it Dad? I asked quietly.
No.
Back tears.
No, honey. Dad is fine.
What happened?
Whitney never made it to school this morning.
Her voice broke over my sister's name. No, Mom. I think she just ditched, I said quickly. I saw her leaving this morning, and it was like really early, like 6, and she was with her friends, Pete Whitaker, and that kid Taylor.
We know about all that, Sam, but they made it to school and wasn't with them. They said she wanted to stop by the Circle K near Drisking High, so they left her there, and no one has seen her since.
Well, my brain struggled to come up with an explanation. Maybe she's ditching.
No, honey.
My mom put the car back in drive and drove toward her house, parking behind a police cruiser.
The police, as well as your father, think that Whitney is with Jay.
But she has a new boyfriend here.
We found all her books on the floor of her room this morning, and half her clothes gone, along with some cash of your dad's.
What? But
Right now, we think that she hitched a ride to St. Louis and she's with Jay. The sheriff's office is trying to contact the boy's parents now.
Whitney run away? Anyone who knew my sister knew she was prone to dramatics and empty threats. But she was dating Chris Whitaker's older brother, Pete. I was sure of it. We walked up to the steps in the house full of stale coffee and quiet murmurs. I tried to remember if Whitney herself had ever confirmed she was dating Pete, but I drew blank. I walked into the kitchen. I saw my father sitting at the table, staring at the phone records, head in hand. He looked up, and I came into the room. He made a weak smile.
Hey, buddy.
Dad, I have to tell you something. I felt a heavy hand on my shoulder and turned up to look Sheriff Keller.
Everything and anything you might have to know, son. No matter how trivial you think it is.
I nodded and sat down at the table with my dad as my mom handed her the big man a cup of coffee.
Here you go, Sheriff.
She said weakly.
Please, Mrs. Walker, call me Killian.
My mother nodded and retreated back into the darkened corner to talk quietly with Sheriff Clary's wife, Grace.
What do you know, Sam?
My dad asked as he rested his chin on the hands in a mock symbol of prayer, as though I may deliver him from his suffering. I heard Whitney say she had a boyfriend, this guy, Pete Whitaker, she's been hanging out with. And then I saw them and Taylor dragging her leaving this morning before me.
What time did they leave?
Asked the sheriff. I don't know, like before 6? He nodded.
Well, that matches the statements of Taylor, Dragoner, and Whitaker boy.
My father's head sunk lower into his hands, and I knew it let him down. But I don't think she was. I don't think she went back to St. Louis because she was dating Pete, and I don't think she wanted to be with her boyfriend back home anymore.
I understand that, son, but a teenage girl's mind is a complicated thing. My officers are trying to get a hold of your boyfriend's family back in St. Louis.
Clary nodded to my father.
And now why don't you go head up to your room and let us work, Samuel?
I looked up at him. What? No, I want to stay down here and help. I can help.
No, son, there is nothing you can do here anymore. You've been good, brother. Now let us handle this.
But I can help.
You already have.
Dad.
Oh, yeah.
I looked over at my dad with begging eyes.
Go to your room, Sam.
He said quietly for a moment. I balked. Dad, come on.
Now.
I was so angry. I did the only thing that I could to make my rage known. Stomped upstairs, slammed the door, and sat on my bed in disbelief. The tears came there and I laid feeling hopeless, worthless, and scared for my sister. Thought about all the places Whitney could be. Was she scared? Was she alone? Was she dead? When the sun began to set, I finally got out of bed and went to check my email. I was expecting lots of messages from Kimber and Kyle. There was only one. Did she go to the treehouse? I sat there, staring at the computer screen for almost a minute. Kimber's words from last fall echoed in my brain.
If you enter the treehouse without the proper ceremony, you'll disappear, and then you'll die.
I didn't buy that Whitney had gone to Circle K that morning. I especially didn't believe that she hitchhiked out of town. Nothing they were saying downstairs made any sense. But if you knew my sister, maybe this did. Maybe she and her boyfriend went to that treehouse to make out in something, Or maybe he left her there. Maybe she got lost, or maybe skinned men had found her. That was the worst thought of all. I didn't need to sneak out because the police were too busy with my parents to care about me anyway. I took my bike out of the garage and rode 3 miles to West Rim Prescott Ore Trail. When I got there, I saw 2 bikes locked up to the signpost and my 2 best friends sitting in the snow next to them.
I knew you'd come.
Kyle said, and I pulled my bike up to Kimber and ran to hug me.
I'm so sorry, Sam.
There was really nothing for me to say, and they didn't push. Kimber took my arm and we started up the trail. The silence between us was so stretched, but uncomfortable. We trudged through the snow, and while I searched for the telltale footprints of others, but the snow was coming in too fast. The hike up the mountain was harder and wetter than we come in the fall, and when Amber Kyle Fort was finally into view, it was a welcome sight. The sun was getting low, and we hadn't brought flashlights. I fell as I ran up to the tree, calling my sister's name to the quiet wild. Kyle was right behind me and leapt immersively onto the rope ladder, climbing quickly up the planks. I kept calling Whitney's name, waiting for Kyle to yell that he'd found her or that she was at least some sight of her. And then I heard Kimber quietly say my name from where she stood at the triple tree. I ran over and tried to follow her eyes to confirm what I already knew was there. And I found it, freshly carved at the top. Whitney W. My breath froze in my chest, my vision blurred with unwelcome tears. As the sun took its last desperate breath before plunging into the deep of the horizon, a deafening metallic wail sang out from the wilderness and spilled down the mountainside.
Dang. How'd you like chapter 1?
That was pretty fucking good, dude. Do you have
Dude, for real.
do you have all the chapters?
Yeah, all the chapters are in here. So if you go to stories, you'll see Borrasca. This is
Oh
part
shit!
2.
There's 5 chapters. Oh my god.
Yeah, but the fifth one is kind of its own thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's really like 4 chapters. Do you want to read chapter 2?
No, this fucking video's already up. An hour. Oh, it's hour and 14. But no, I think we should start on the other one next time.
Okay.
This is really good.
Dude, for real. It's fucking top tier shit.
Alright, guys. Well, if you enjoyed that, please let us know. We love all the feedback you give to us. And if there's anything you have to say, please let us know. We're going to roll the outro here in a minute. If you like this video format, again, let us know. We just don't want to put anything too crazy in the background. That way it kind of seems like it's going to distract you from the story itself. We're going to leave some of the comedy bits in here. If you just want pure scary story, tell us. And we'll do that. We'll cut out everything that's not horror, like that. And yeah, see y'all later.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that YouTube crap, and yeah, later.
See you later, you scary cats.